Starting any business is risky, but starting a vegan one, that can feel like jumping into the unknown.
When Vidhi and I started Imagine Cafe over a decade ago, finding guidance felt almost impossible. That's why we are making this series, to share real insights from real founders who've been there.
Today, we'll talk about the building blocks on which everything else rests, the grind of funding, and the art of finding your people.
Let's talk money. In a space driven by ethics as much as economics, where does that capital actually come from?
40% is from my saving, 60% is from a loan. Oh man, was that scary to take the loan and things? In the beginning, I don't feel it actually. Because in the beginning, the excitement and everything, boom, 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 right away. I don't even think about how I'm going to pay the loan. And just imagine 6 months after we open, it's pandemic. And we are in Bali, in Canggu, which is like, there's no tourists. Right.
Carlo's calmness hides an incredible level of risk he took right at the start of his journey with Mangi's, a beautiful vegan cafe in Canggu, Bali. Megan took a different approach with Berde Eats, a much loved online vegan grocery store in the Philippines.
Well, actually, because when we started, it was very small. And again, it was just to cater to, oh, I have these products, I'll sell them to other people who are in the area. We started with 100 USD. So it's 5,000 pesos. It's very small because we didn't buy anything aside from the five products that we were selling.
Megan's $100 start is a great example of lean bootstrapping. It lowered initial risk but meant that growth was slow, funded gradually by the business's own revenues.
The very first thing that I did, though,
Desiree is the founder of Woz & Company, a luxury vegan footwear brand based in Vancouver, Canada.
the only money I've ever raised was I did a Kickstarter, a crowdfunding campaign.
Right.
That was where I produced the first 100 pairs of boots, and I raised $11,000 Canadian.
Right.
Well, and you get your customer base too, right?
Yeah.
Because out of those, I actually only had 60 customers, but I was able to produce 100 pairs of shoes. So immediately out of the 100 pairs of boots, 60 of them were fulfilled to those customers. And then I had a bit of inventory to go to events and start to build up, and then through more sales, and then more investment, personal investment for myself. Yeah.
Okay.
A Kickstarter is an excellent idea, and it provided initial proof of concept and some cash flow for Desiree. Next, we'll talk about salaries for the founders.
So this is still my part-time. So I still have a full-time and anything actually that we make in the business, I say we're advocacy first because it's true. We don't take anything from the business. Whatever is extra goes to the community cats, goes to other advocacies. Yeah. So no salary, unfortunately, but maybe, I don't know if we get acquired by a bit. No, just kidding.
While I was building up Bose, I was also working full time. So I had an income from that.
Okay.
And then decided to go full time into this business in 2023.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is that something you would recommend?
100%.
Okay.
It's very rare where you hit the ground running and you're profitable from the beginning.
Right.
For the first 3 years, at least, you're not making enough to pay yourself a living wage.
The truth is that your business might not be able to pay you a salary. And this forces a difficult calculation. The calculation I think founders should do is, okay, you know the salary you need from your company. You should factor that into your business model and then see, what are the chances you'll be making that amount of revenue and profit.
Pure profit.
Yeah.
That's net profit.
Yeah.
That's not revenue.
Yeah.
That's revenue after everything.
And on the other side, if you can't give all your time to your venture, what's the cost of that, And for us, it meant hiring a capable manager and a good staff. The number was very small compared to the salary that Vidhi and I would need, compared to us.
As a founder, as an entrepreneur, at the age you're at with your own experience, you can make in a job, a full-time job, you can make more than maybe again, like a general manager or somebody. Even for my business now, I can hire people interns in university, that are probably smarter than me, like more technologically savvy, even with some of the marketing stuff, you know what I mean? At like much lower price than myself.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. You can find better people than you. I think that's important to remember. Not just cheaper, people than you, but better people than you as well. There is a conventional belief that the founder must be absolutely exclusively committed to the business. But I honestly feel that there are many moments where it makes a lot of sense to take a step back and hire someone better. So, when do these businesses become profitable? Or at least when do you break even on your investment?
I think to 2022. I think it should be on 2021. If there's no COVID, I'm pretty sure it's 2021.
Honestly, when we started, because there was almost no operational cost, I'd say we were profitable from day one, but then profitable for the business, not ourselves, right? Because we don't take anything.
Are we profitable? No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is some no, I'm still paying off my own debt that I put into the company.
But I think it's a very encouraging sign that you were able to make it full time.
Yeah.
Would you say that's correct?
No, because it wasn't that I was able to support myself through the business.
Okay.
It was that I was smart enough in other things that I was doing. For example, when I was a part of the food company for 2.5 years, I ended up spinning off that brand. It's selling 80% of that brand, where I got a huge chunk of money that I was able to kind of like support myself and put more money into Vose and company.
Yeah.
So it wasn't because Vose was at a point where, I can pay myself 10K a month now, no problem. No.
Fair enough.
I'm not there yet.
Sure.
Yeah.
But cool. Breaking even after 2 or 3 years like Carlo, profitable for the business, but not for the founder like Megan, or still not able to get a market competitive salary after 5+ years like Desiree. It paints a picture of long timelines and nuanced definitions of success. It's rarely a straight line to a comfortable profit. This was a lot of information. And after going through all this footage and editing it, we feel like we found a pattern. If we look at this with two axes, one representing risk and investment, and one showing expectation of profit and salary. Carlo is top right with an appetite for high risk and an expectation for high reward. He took on debt and he needed the business to draw a salary because that's his only source of income. Desiree is somewhere in between. She had a high investment but lowered her risk by self funding instead of taking debt. She also had a different source of income for the first few years to reduce the pressure on the company. With Megan, it was very low risk in terms of the investment, and in almost 10 years, she's never drawn a salary from the business. So, where do you want to be on this chart? Well, that's up to you. But it's important to know that there is no single answer. Each of the founders have adopted a different strategy, and you will need to figure out what works for you as well. Being top right means you will be deeply invested and the stakes will be high. And if you are bottom left, it will be a slower journey but potentially a more chilled out one. Let's shift from the financial foundation to something more human, the team. And we'll start at the start.
Well, lucky that I have my partner, Chris. I think the best one is to start with a partner, I think. To do it alone is going to be harder.
Yeah, for sure.
So I say that my mom is a co-founder.
Wow.
Yeah, because when I started the business, I was a student, and literally it was in her fridge. Right, she bought a fridge at home. So, but she also like really helped a lot with deliveries because I was still a student. So if we have deliveries and I'm at school, then she will take care of the deliveries. Now she's going full time in the business in Verde, so she's been able to quit from her job during the pandemic, so it also kept her safe.
Partners and co founders can play a crucial role in your company. Or you can take a different route, like Desiree, with her team of one.
One person, in case you missed that. Yeah.
That's insane.
So it's crazy. Like I have a full, manufacturer with 40 employees. I have a third party logistics that warehouses and picks and packs my orders that also has 10 employees. So I do have like an accountant outsource, professional accountant that I pay, a professional lawyer that I pay. So those are all, just like consultants. It's all contractual. I am the marketing engine. So that's what most of my focus is on a regular basis, is just like the marketing and sales.
It's incredible that you can run a business like this with a team of just one. But how did our other founders find their people?
One of our first hires is my friend, who's one of our social media people up to now, is friends with our current operations manager. So it's very network related. The rest of the team are through social network, aside from one of our social media content editors. I actually hired her through a Facebook group. I love Facebook groups in the Philippines. They're great to find talent and they're free. And I've been like so successful in finding great talent there. She's been with us for a long time now. All of our team has been like good retention rate. Everyone has been there for a long time.
No, we don't use any agency. We just use website. Okay. At that time, something like Job Street, something like that.
Nice. In India, it's quite different. The restaurant staff mainly, they are not on the websites yet.
How do you get your chef?
It was very funny actually. It was my cook at home. So in India, we have private cooks at home. So he would do. One day he just came and he asked Vidhi and me, what are you guys doing? We told him we're starting a restaurant. And then he told us, just hire me, like, why are you not hiring me? So we never thought of it before that time because he makes amazing Indian food, but we were not planning to do Indian food. And we thought, okay, fine, he'll learn, right? Food is food, learn the different cuisines and all. So we got him and then he got everyone else from his village. He made a few calls and literally they came from the village to Bombay and they joined our team. He became like the head of HR, you can say, for Imagine, like if anyone quit and went, he would only find someone new. It might shock people, but HR can be creative too. And you do need to get creative to build your team.
During our conversation about team values, Megan and I discussed an ethical dilemma of sorts.
Do you think it's important that they are vegan?
Oh, no. Okay. Maybe when I was starting, I was a bit naive about these things. So I was like, I don't know if they will understand veganism. I don't know if they'll be able to. I don't know if I can hire someone who's not vegan. As vegans, we should not limit ourselves to just other vegans because then we're creating chambers, right? Like eco chambers. And then it makes it harder for other people to know about this lifestyle also because we're just talking amongst ourselves. So it's important also to include other people.
The evolution in Megan's thinking is crucial. And when I asked Carlo what he values the most about team building,
I try to put myself in their position. I think that's the most important for me.
When you give people responsibility for their work and they take ownership of it, then they're more excited to do that and do well in that. They're more important than I am. Because like there are times, because I still have a full-time job, right? So I'm really like 90% away. So the ones who are running the business is my team and they're amazing. Like I may have some ideas every now and then. And of course the long-term strategy will mostly be from me with their insights as well on the day-to-day. But it wouldn't run without them. Yeah.
the honesty and humility to recognize that your team is more important than you, being kind, empowering people, putting yourself in their shoes, these aren't just management buzzwords. They seem essential. Megan and Carlo have been able to retain their teams for the long term. That doesn't just happen by accident. I also found it interesting to note how people's roles have changed over the years.
Very similar. I would say very similar.
Okay.
Just before, me and Chris, we handle everything together.
Right.
And then at some point, we can argue, right? We can have five.
Sure.
And at that time, I decided, okay, you decide. So kitchen and bar is your part. Other than that, one is my part.
Right.
To avoid the conflict.
Before it was me for everything, like marketing, making those posts, even though I'm so bad at graphic design, like responding to customers. It was my job also, packing the orders myself, delivering them. So everything was me. Now I'm happy that I'm able to like lean on my team for most of the things and I'm just there for direction then for the next 6 months or the next year. So I think more long term for the business and hopefully strategize. Because it's hard to grow when you're just so in it, right? Like when you're trying to cope up with the day to day, it's hard to think, what can I improve next? And now I'm able to at least have a little bit more of plan for the company and the team also, so they know what to expect in the next 6 to 12 months and hopefully be able to grow from there.
For Carlo, he restructured his role. With Desiree, she decided to go full time after a couple of years. But Megan's journey has been different. It shows the evolution from doing everything yourself to building an internal team that she can trust, which enabled her to step back into a strategic role.
How you raise capital and how you build your team are two fundamental elements of your business model. And although this stuff can seem really boring, I actually saw a lot of creativity in how our founders approached it.
Guddu, the junior chef at Imagine, becoming Imagine's head of HR. Desiree figuring out that you can build Woz & Co. as a team of one. Megan building an advocacy first vegan business while still in college with her mom as a co founder. There's so much improvisation and creativity here.
In business, figuring out how you, your product, your service fits into the wider world is incredibly important. And there are a lot of unknowns on the journey there. So, yes, it's gritty, it's tough. But the big lesson for me is just how much room there is for your imagination as well.